All right, welcome. Greeting, welcome to January 27th, 2025. My name is Kurt, and this is my daily Good Life meditation, an exercise that I do every day, a little bit after waking up, to remember my life objectives and principles, to go over the last 24 hours, to review the 8 objectives of my creed, to plan for the coming day, and to ready myself for death. So far, it's currently 5:48 a.m. Thank you for your patience while I was doing my little list here. Oh, and by the way, the disclaimer for new subscribers to the channel, this is not a Japan-related video. This is a me-related video. So I've gone, here's the schedule that I have so far today. I was up at 4 a.m. and I did all my social media engagement, including responding to all comments on social media and most notably YouTube. By 5 a.m. I was out the door and walking. It's usually I try to get here to Lawson Station by 6 a.m. I'm about 15 minutes early. I got here early, so I've got a 15-minute head start by 6 a.m. to do my Good Life meditation, which this is. And then these are the things I'm going to do. I'll review the last 24 hours, go over the creed, prepare for the next 24 hours, and review my readiness for death. After that, should be out the door here by 6:30, so I have a half hour to do all that. Walking, walk back home. There'll be a dog walk at 7. I should be back home by 7. At that point, I will have a dog walk with my wife and our 2 dogs. Breakfast should be around 8. I'll be all cleaned up while Yumiko cooks breakfast. And by 9 o'clock, I'm hoping to be at the eye doctor's. Got what I think is a cataract starting to form in my left eye. And I'm going to try to see the doctor to take care of that. Maybe I can put this up here. Oh, maybe that'll work. I'm trying to find a way to do this better. Oh, that's not so bad. I just have to make sure I use my body to frame the whole thing in case anybody walks by. I don't want to film anybody inadvertently. So let's get started. The last 24 hours, challenges and opportunities that I met. 2 of them mainly, one familiar, one, well, they're both familiar. One is the malaise that comes in the afternoon. Like I keep saying over and over again, I've got this solid from 4 a.m. until after breakfast. About that good feeling lasts until about 10. If I could just hold on to this feeling that I have at 5, it's 5:51 a.m. for the rest of the day, that would be an incredible life to live. But I can't. It withers. It begins to diminish. It's around late morning, 10 or 11, and after lunch, it tends to fall off. Yesterday it fell off hard. And I don't know why I keep forgetting, but it's allergies that are getting me. And it makes me feel like I'm sick. It makes me feel like something's wrong. And it's just that I'm suffering from allergies. You know, that awakening came to me when my sister-in-law told me. She said, "How's your allergies doing?" Because she knows I suffered from allergies living in Japan before. She does too, as does my brother-in-law. And she says, "Kurt, how's your allergies doing?" And because she says, "Mine suck." She talking about hers, and then she commented that her brother Takeshi is already getting medication. Now, there's nothing much I can do about that, and I can't blame that on anything related to my creed or tuning that I need to do or existential, or it's just a medical condition, right? And yesterday was particularly bad because I took a long walk after lunch, and I was out exposed to it all, and I came back feeling just awful. And again, it took me an hour to realize that's what it was, and I thought it was something else, and it wasn't. I don't know if there's much I can do about this except maybe see a doctor, like my brother-in-law does. And I'm gonna give it a little more time. I don't know why. I keep hitting this. I keep running into this wall. It's been over a week now. I keep running into this wall, the same daily pattern. I think the internal readiness and tuning for retired life is in good shape. I don't think I have any excess. I don't think I have any baggage that I need to work on. personal issues that I need to deal with to deal with being retired. What a funny thing to say. I think I'm in good shape if the morning hours are any witness to it. It's just that as soon as I get out, I leave the apartment and I get out into there, maybe I should start wearing a mask. As soon as I get out there into the world, walking around, and the pollen starts to get to me, and it takes me out. So that's what that was yesterday. There wasn't anything else that really challenged me yesterday. It was a good day, except for that. My creed consists of 8 objectives. The creed is basically, for those of you that are new, it's my personal set of objectives and principles that I use to try to live the best life I can, to live a meaningful life and to live well. The objectives are just that, the things that I'm striving to do in the course of each day and in the course of my life. It would be my North Star, so to speak, as my living. And there are 8 of them, and I'll talk about them in just a second. The 35 principles are the tools that I use to help get me there, to keep me tuned, make sure I'm staying in balance, applying reason, being objective, having good exercise, cultivating good emotional reactions, doing good actions throughout the day in accordance with my creed, etc., etc. And there's some more esoteric principles like the Homunculus and Anchorhold and stuff. All of this is discussed in my book, Going Alone, which anyone can read for free at my website, goingalone.org. The book is also available anywhere you can get a book. Okay, the 8 objectives of my creed are as follows. Number 1, to be always ready to die, to have my affairs in order, my relationship sound, and my life's work complete. Number 2 is to make good and effective use of my time, to not waste my precious days. Precious. 3, to cultivate, develop, and maintain good and sound life principles. These are exactly the 8 objectives in the 35 principles. I just say principles to cover them all. 4, to cultivate good emotional reactions, to become someone who reacts well to challenging circumstances when they arise. One did happen last night. We were over at the in-laws' house, at Yoko's house, and I was sitting with Rudy in the little tatami room, and Takeshi popped in all of a sudden. The door slid open and he came in from the outside, which set Ollie off, and I was controlling Rudy, which is the more temperamental dog. That's my mission. That's why I was sitting in the tatami room, keeping them separate. And immediately when my emotions rose, because Ollie was upset at Takeshi, who he's still kind of getting used to, because he's not a peripheral member of the family, but we don't see him as much. And immediately my mind went, okay, Kurt, Yumiko's got this. Ollie's not going to bite Takeshi. He just doesn't recognize who it is all of a sudden. Yumiko's got this. You've got your ward, little Rudy, to take care of. I turned away from the situation and kept Rudy calm, because Rudy was getting upset by extension from Ollie's upset. So that was an example of good emotional reactions in the moment, recognizing what was happening, recognizing where the division of responsibility were with the 2 dogs, recognizing that even though I'm the man of the house, so to speak, I'm supposed to jump in and quell any waters. This is a particular water that I had my pool to quell, which is little Rudy. The next one is number 5, is to perform good actions relative to my creed. And that is defined as performing actions that are in accordance with the pursuit and the improvement of virtue, which seems like it's regressive, right? It goes from one thing, good actions, which, what are those? Virtue. Well, what is that? Virtue in this case is defined as actions that help to improve the well-being of creatures, in particular thinking creatures that could suffer. Number 6 is to recognize my true limits and true opportunities. This is important so that I'm operating within the scope of my capabilities, not expecting things that are outside of my ability to control or even anyone's control. Like, for example, going out and a great example of this combines 2 objectives at once. Recognizing true scope and good emotional reactions would be like if went out this morning without an umbrella, which I didn't have. And sometimes in Japan, it's dark, you can't see the sky. The rain just starts, and the rain started coming down, and I'm half an hour walk away from home, and I'm going to get wet. You know, there's a couple of things I could do to operate utilizing my creed to deal with that. One, I'm inside here, so I could just say, well, it's raining, recognize the scope of control. I don't have an umbrella. I do have the capability to say, well, I'll just stay in here, get another can of coffee, stay in here until the rain stops. Or I could say, well, I'm going to go out and walk in the rain, I'm just going to get wet. Or I could buy an umbrella, for a couple hundred yen and do that. What I don't do is get upset, because it's outside of the scope of my control to adjust any of those parameters beyond what the circumstances that happened by virtue of the fact that I didn't check the weather before I left the apartment, and I left the apartment without my umbrella. So getting upset at the fact of incidental rain is irrational and causes undue upset. Undue is the right word, upset, and inappropriate upset. If I can simply maintain my reason, view things with an objective frame of mind, and taking into consideration the circumstances. So this is what it means by having good emotional reactions and recognizing what is and what is not within the scope of my control. Okay, so next is there's just two more. This objective number 7 is to do, just one thing at a time, and do that thing slowly, deliberately, and carefully. This would be probably one of the more overtly Stoic elements of the creed, right? We're attempting to. The Stoics have the reputation of being Stoic, and being able to do one thing at a time, slowly, deliberately, and carefully, is quite overtly Stoic. Although that Stoicism is far more than that. Finally, the last objective is to maintain my balance. This is both physical and mental, so that I am at the ready to keep my equanimity in every circumstance within reason. It's a tricky thing to do, but once we get the hang of it, once the mind is keen and on alert, it's easier and easier as time goes by. So that's it. Those are my 8 objectives within the creed. Now let's talk about the next 24 hours. What am I going to be doing I've got another half hour. I've got another half hour. I can stay here for another half hour. Wow. We'll have another sip. Well, I'm going to walk home. Maybe I'll leave here early and just take a meandering walk home. I'll walk home. By 7 o'clock, we'll start the dog walk. I'll clean up. I'll change into my going to the doctor's office wear. So I'll take off all this. I've developed so far 3, could I use the word mien, that I am wearing here in Japan. Those are the faces that I wear in Japan. This is my walking in Japan, my new walking in Japan face. Not the one with the backpack. It looks like that one with the backpack. The one, the deep mountains, is going to be a character for the future. It'll be there, but this is what I wear. This is my Manny pack. It's got all the stuff that I need. Over here, it's got my stuff to attend to the dogs. And so between this, I can just go walk anywhere. It's got everything I need. My wife keeps me fueled with, excuse me. My wife keeps me fueled with money. She's in charge of the funds. It's always that way. Wherever we live, I'm always responsible for the deep finances, right? I manage the retirement funds and all of our big savings accounts and income flows. But Yumiko manages wherever we live. The person who is the native speaker there leads the way financially for the on the ground stuff. So Yumiko and I each get an allowance, and she funds my allowance. So she doles out my allowance every week, and she takes care of her own. So she keeps me funded. All I do is kind of fun. I've got clothes, I've got my outdoor outfit, I've got all this stuff in here that I need. Literally, this is everything I need. Urban, suburban exploration. And my wife just keeps, every week she just gives me money. And I'm free to go do whatever the hell I want to do all the time. I take Rudy with me. Sometimes I go alone, or whatever the case may be. But that's my new walking in Japan, my face. I also have another one, which is the out with my wife phase, which is I have nice clothes that I bought before I came over to Japan. I learned that lesson. It's hard to find stuff that'll fit me because I've got long arms, foreigner arms. So I came over to Japan with a really nice wardrobe. And if I know I'm going to be spending the day with my wife, after I get back from my morning walk, I'll clean up, blow dry my hair. I'll wash my hair or wet it and blow dry it and get it into a nice poofiness, put on my best clothes, and I use the same bag, but I'll tune it a little bit. I'll take out some of the things that I don't necessarily need out and about with her. But also it changes my mind. It adjusts my frame of mind, something that I never did when I lived in Japan before. When I lived in Japan before, I was the same guy in every circumstance. Now I become somebody different. When I go out with my wife, I become a guy that's more attuned to being with my wife. Like, I really like window shopping. I don't know, that's not somehow, I tuned myself to that when I was in Japan because I knew that that's a fun thing to do. And I knew that I'd need to occupy my time in retirement. And plus, I knew that we would need to furnish our house, which we get in 2 days. So we go out, I get nicely dressed, I have really nice clothes, my hair's all nice, I got my bag, I'm a presentable older man. I'm out with my wife, and the society here welcomes me more than before when I would run around in shorts like a hiker. I was always in hiking mode, and I would just be a bull in a china shop here. Now I'm more of the older man that I've become, an older retired guy that I've become, and I'm out with my wife, and I want my wife to feel comfortable and proud to be with me. I don't want to be standing out and and I don't want to be. I'm not that guy anymore. I'm not that young 40-something hiker anymore. I'm an older guy now. That's the second phase. The third phase, which is the newest one, that I only discovered this week, over the weekend, is the DIY phase. I've got that, I don't know if you guys have seen, I've got that orange coverall that I bought, and I've got a tool belt, and I've got these work shoes, and we're getting the house in 2 days. Wednesday we get the keys. We're paying off the house and get the keys. And then we're going to switch in DIY mode. And Yumiko has the same thing, her coveralls and everything. So when I wake up, when I set up my room, because I get in my own room in the new house, a beautiful room on the second floor overlooking the river, I'm going to set it all up with the accoutrements of those three characters that I can be. Either the walking in Japan guy, the walking with my wife guy, or the working in the house guy. Let me write those down. Those are good titles for it. I went ahead and wrote those three personas down, and I told Yumiko about that yesterday at lunch. And I said I've discovered I'm three people now. I can be any of these people. She seemed proud of me that I finally figured that out. I don't have to be the same damn person all the time, which I think is rather astonishing at this age, because I think if anything, what often happens is by the time we reach 60, whatever we have instilled in ourselves, that's what we are, and we remain that. And it's like, I've said this before, it's like a slot car. Remember those little slot cars you can put in the racetrack, and on the same little tracks, they've got the little thing in the groove. Every time it goes around, it digs a hole a little deeper in the groove. And if after 60 years of running on the same track, you ain't getting out. You're like there's that one road here in Japan that has the wall of snow, because all the cars go and the snow falls, and it's got 40 feet of snow on the other side. You can't get out. Maybe I'm not like that because of the fact that Yumiko and I have been together 37 years, and I think we've had 35 houses in those 37 years. We move on average of less than every 2 years. We move and change our circumstance. So, and I've had so many jobs. I've been so many people, so maybe I just never got into built up a deep enough groove to get the hell out, that I can get out. So then we'll do the dog walk, have breakfast, and then I'm going to go see the eye doctor at 9 o'clock. And I just got a comment on Japan. What an amazing place this is in terms of healthcare. Our premiums, I just want to go over this real quick. I'm going to see a doctor, but I was telling Yumiko about my eye. I got a cataract over here that's forming. And the doctor said so in America. I had a cataract over here, and I had cataract surgery on my right eye about 2 years ago. And at the time, the doctor said, Kurt, you've got a cataract forming on your left eye that's going to need a treatment eventually. And I knew that would happen in Japan. And here I am. And my right eye is just perfect. I've got like 20/20 vision. You know, what are the glasses for? The glasses are for reading. So 20/20 simply means that at 20 feet, you can see perfectly. This ain't 20 feet. So here it is. Now, when I went the cataract in my right eye, I had to go see my general practitioner in America, my American plan. And I'm not dissing on the American health plan. It's a great system for if you can afford it and if you can get into it. It's just incredibly expensive and prohibitively difficult to navigate sometimes. So I guess it does suck. It sucks by virtue of the fact that people can't access it, right? I mean, you have to have, I don't know, I'm not qualified to diss on it, but it's hard. It's expensive and hard. So I had to see a general practitioner who referred me to an ophthalmologist who then blah, 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 blah. And I eventually got the surgery some months later. It worked, my eyes are good. But here, Yumiko was like, she was like, well, let's go see the eye doctor on Monday. I said, wait a minute, don't I have to see like a general practitioner? She said, no, she says, which one? She says, there's an eye doctor over here. There's the one that my dad goes to. And I'm like, you can just see anyone? And she says, yeah, you can just go see any doctor whenever you need to. Nice. And I've had healthcare here before. It's really good. But the point is, it's our premium for our medical care coverage here in Japan. You know, Yumiko and I are both older, so I think you get some discounts if you're like in your 60s. So it's like less than $30 a month for the both. That's combined for medical, dental, prescription combined. $30 a month, full coverage for the two. Not full coverage with a 30% deductible. Now that 30% we can get supplemental insurance to cover that if we want to, but we haven't done that just yet. Pretty good deal. So I'll be at the eye doctor by 9. I imagine that'll take us to lunchtime. At lunchtime we'll do that. So then I'm going to say noon, lunch. Yumiko and I are trying to work out something we can do where I'll walk the dogs because she takes care of her dad's lunch every day. While Yumiko prepares dad's lunch at his house, and then after the dog walk, I can walk home and meet Yumiko. We can have lunch with dad, give him the socializing. We're trying to figure out the logistics of all of that. Lunch and dogs. That brings me to 1 p.m. and my dreaded afternoon, right? As I said in the start of this, it's the afternoons that get me. Afternoons are hard. It's hard, and I tried to excuse it away earlier saying it was the allergies, but it's hard for other reasons too. It's hard because it's a void of, at work at least I had tasks that need to be done that fueled me through, that kept me moving, inertia that kept me moving through the afternoon. I don't have that now that I'm retired, but I'm not going to try to fix this yet because in 48 hours we get the key to a house. What I'll do is, here's what's going to happen to address this. Remember I talked about the 3 personas? Walking in Japan, Kurt. Walking with my wife, Kurt. DIY, Kurt. Working at the house. I guess I call that DIY, Kurt. After we get the keys to the house, I'm going to be putting on the orange coveralls in the morning, and that's the only guy I'm going to be, except unless on the weekends, if Yumiko and I are going out, she's got her coveralls. We're going to be DIY couple all day, every day. These afternoon doldrums aren't going to be a problem for much longer because I'm going to be, as always, masking things. That's one of the principles of my Good Life Creed, is the principle of distraction, which says that we distract ourselves from the emptiness of the universe, the lack of overt inherent purpose and meaning by virtue of the many distractions we sustain, whether that be education, work, family, hobbies, religion, whatever it is that keeps us distracted from the emptiness. That's what I call the book Going Alone. Going Alone is the part of the book where you encounter the emptiness of the universe, the lack of caring of the universe, the fact that we are on our own, and that death is forever. Hashtag. So that'll take me to 1. What am I going to do after that? I'm just going to put here, whatever. That'll take me from 1 o'clock. I'll do whatever until 6. Dog walk. 7. Dinner. 8. Bath. 9. Bed. Look at that. I got the whole day outlined now. Okay. So this is I got the whole day outlined, and I've identified here from 1 to 5, 1 to 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I need to do my fingers. 5. That's 5 hours of going to be a tricky time for me, because it is every day. That's this tough part. Maybe what I'll do during this time is just forget about it. Just go out into the walk. Because even if I have my allergies, if I'm walking, I'm feeling okay. It's when I get back to the house afterwards that it strikes me. Just go walk it off, and then come home and walk the dogs, have dinner with the wife, take a bath, get to bed, sleep it off. Yeah, I'll try that today. Okay, it's time to let's review comments and finish this up. Okay, Robert, believe in yourself. Hello, Kurt. Hi, Robert. Japan was the first place I discovered I was allergic to pollen. It's nasty, huh? This is the time of year for cedar pollen, isn't it? It is. It started already. Robert goes on, Kurt, I've been doing breath work, which has helped the YouTube channel Breathe with Sandy, specifically this one. Stop scrolling now. 5-minute breath work for natural dopamine boost is easy, quick. Thank you for the reference, Robert. Finspeck, you're a new name. Welcome. If you're a new subscriber, I haven't seen your name before. Bad weather is the greatest time to be outside. You can be on your own and enjoy the weather. I agree. And Robert says hi to Finspeck. Finspeck says hello, back to Robert. Robert says, hi, Tobias. Tobias? I don't see a comment from Tobias. This is an interesting comment. I don't see the comment. Sean. Hi, Sean. Welcome. If you're a new subscriber, I haven't seen your name before. Sean Staplefield. I love Japan. Yeah, me too. Konnichiwa. O genki desu ka, softypapa? Genki desu. Anata wa? Boba Sweat. I think I've seen your name before. I'm lucky to live where I am. I have 100% free health care on top of a really good insurance from work. Nice. Sean says, Robert, of course, always welcoming everybody, says hi to Sean and hi to Boba Sweat. Boba Sweat says hello, and Duskfall says hello, people. Hello, Duskfall. You're a new name as well. Welcome. And then Robert says hi, Duskfall. Duskfall says, I used to watch softypapa's videos of exploration in 2012. Oh, wow, really? I'm sorry I didn't recognize your handle from back in the day. Well, that's it for the comments. My good life meditation. Oh, the last thing I need to do is I need to see if I'm ready for death. And that means I have to answer 3 questions in the affirmative. 1, are my affairs in order? Are my relationships sound? And is my life's work complete? And the answer to all 3 of those is yes. My affairs are in order. I'm taken care of. My wife is taken care of. My relationships are sound. I have nobody with unfinished business. And my life's work is definitely complete, with my book written, my career complete, and my daughter grown. Everything now is just a building bonus on top of it. So I'll stop for now. Wish you all the best. Remember, be safe, but not too safe. Take care. And welcome to you new subscribers. Take care.